Once upon a time, deep within an ancient forest in India, there lived a majestic Bengal tiger who dwelled alone, melancholic. His fierce roars were no longer heard as they once were, and the other animals noticed that the tiger no longer hunted as he used to. He would spend his days lying in the shade of a huge banyan tree with a sad gaze lost on the horizon. The birds and monkeys playing in the branches of the banyan tree noticed that something was amiss with the tiger. He no longer roared with the same strength as before and barely moved from his spot. Worried, they went to tell the old elephant, the wisest being in the jungle, about the tiger's strange melancholic behavior. "Venerable elephant," said the leader of the monkeys, "something very strange is happening with the tiger. He no longer roars or hunts, he just lies under the banyan tree with a look of deep sadness. What do you think might be wrong with him?" The elephant, who was over 100 years old and had seen everything in the jungle, pondered for a moment before responding. "Dear friends," he said, "the tiger must be going through a difficult time. Perhaps he feels a great emptiness inside, and his spirit is in need of healing. I will personally go speak with him to find out what's wrong and try to help him." With that said, the elderly elephant made his way, not heavily, towards the banyan tree where the melancholic tiger lay. Upon reaching him, he gently lowered his trunk and placed it softly on the tiger's back. "Mighty tiger, it is I, the elephant. I have noticed that lately you haven't been yourself. I want to know how you're feeling and if there's anything I can do to help," he said calmly and deliberately. The tiger, initially surprised by the presence of the elephant, took a moment before responding with a sigh. "Appreciated elephant, what you say is true. Nothing brings me joy anymore, not even running through the jungle or engaging in my usual hunts. I feel a deep emptiness inside and a great sadness that never leaves me. I believe my spirit has dimmed, and I don't know what to do to regain the will to live." The elephant listened attentively and passionately to the tiger's sad tale. He knew that when a spirit is damaged from within, it needs healing, and perhaps he could help the tiger by sharing the wisdom he had accumulated over his years of life. "My dear friend," the elephant began, "every living being experiences moments of sadness and despair, but I assure you that we can overcome suffering. We must search within ourselves and cultivate thoughts that are filled with light. If you allow me, I can share with you some reflections that may ease the burden on your spirit." Moved by the elephant's words, the tiger felt a glimmer of hope within and agreed to listen to the advice of the aged pachyderm, whose heart radiated great wisdom and compassion. After his conversation with the elephant, the tiger decided to emerge from his lethargy and began to walk slowly through the forest, head bowed and lost in thought. The other animals were very surprised to see him outside the shade of the banyan tree after so long. A group of friendly monkeys playing among the trees approached him, jumping to greet him. "Tiger, we're so glad to see you out again. Do you feel better now?" asked the monkeys. "The truth is, no, little monkeys. I still feel very lonely and sad inside," replied the tiger. The monkeys looked at each other somewhat crestfallen, unsure of what else to say. Suddenly, the youngest and most playful monkey had an idea to cheer up the melancholic feline. "I know! How about we play for a while? We can chase each other all around the forest. That always cheers me up," suggested the monkey. The tiger smiled faintly and agreed to give it a try, more to please the little monkeys than out of his own conviction. He spent some time chasing the elusive monkeys from branch to branch, but deep inside, he still felt just as empty and sad. After a while, he stopped, exhausted, panting under the shade of a neem tree. The monkeys gathered around him. "I'm sorry, my friends, but not even this fun game has managed to lift my spirits," said the tiger. "Nevertheless, I appreciate your good intentions." He continued his journey with his head bowed, leaving the monkeys behind, unsure of what else to do to help him. Further ahead, he encountered a deer peacefully grazing. Upon seeing the tiger, the deer approached and greeted him kindly. "Greetings, tiger. It's good to see you out of your seclusion, though I still sense great sorrow in your eyes. Please tell me what's troubling you," said the deer. The tiger then recounted the profound inner emptiness he was feeling. The deer, compassionate And a good inhabitant of the forest responded, "Perhaps what you need is inner peace to fill that void. Have you tried contemplating the beauty of the forest in tranquility? Come, let's lay down for a while, monkeys, and watch the clouds go by. Listen to the birds chirping. Let the serenity of nature penetrate your spirit." The tiger decided to try the deer's idea, but it didn't yield the expected results. After a while of lying in silence next to the deer, the tiger's mood didn't improve. "Thank you very much for trying to help me, kind deer," he said, "but the peace of the forest only makes me feel smaller and insignificant in comparison to everything around me." With a veiled gesture of sadness, he bid farewell and continued wandering aimlessly through the thickets, searching within himself for any glimmer of light that would reignite his will to live. The other animals, saddened to see that none of their attempts had succeeded in lifting the tiger's spirits, went to seek the elderly elephant again to ask for some other wise advice on how to help their depressed friend. The old elephant gathered some of the forest animals to brainstorm a solution together to help the tiger with his melancholy. "My dear friends, we must do something for our companion, the tiger, before sadness completely overwhelms his spirit," said the elephant. "We need a lasting solution to heal his soul from the roots. We could throw him a big surprise party with lots of food to lift his spirits," suggested the wild boar. "Or we could fill his cave with beautiful aromatic flowers," said the squirrel. "Perhaps dancing and singing to make him laugh might work better," opened the parrot. But the elderly elephant shook his head thoughtfully. He knew that the tiger's sadness required more than superficial remedies. They needed superior help, someone truly wise who could heal the feline's troubled spirit. Suddenly, it occurred to him that not far from the forest was the cave, where a renowned Buddhist hermit named Siddhartha meditated. After many years in solitude seeking enlightenment, Siddhartha had attained supreme wisdom and absolute compassion. "That's it. We must bring the venerable Siddhartha here to use his profound knowledge and help the poor tiger," exclaimed the elephant enthusiastically. Quickly, the swift deer were dispatched as messengers to the hermit's cave to tell him about the tiger's sadness and to ask for his assistance before it was too late. Siddhartha kindly agreed to follow the deer on their path. Along the way, he spoke to them about Buddhist teachings to alleviate suffering. "All pain comes from within, from not understanding the profound reality of life," he said. "But there is a path of hope to heal the spirit," he said with a calm voice and serene gaze. Upon arriving at the forest, the elephant and the other animals welcomed the wise hermit and introduced him to the tiger, who sat with his head bowed under a tree. "Great tiger, I have been told of your internal sorrow, and I have come from my cave with the humble intention of helping you through compassion and wisdom that can alleviate the deepest suffering," said Siddhartha, looking at the tiger with curiosity. The tiger, feeling somewhat embarrassed to show such vulnerability in front of the other animals, was compelled to open up by the compassionate and profound gaze of the hermit. "Wiser Siddhartha, for some moons now, my mind and my whole being have been filled with a thick, dark fog that extinguishes any hint of joy. Nothing motivates me anymore or makes sense. I only wander with my head bowed, dragging the heaviness of my body. I don't even have the desire to hunt or roar as I used to. I feel hollow, empty, insignificant. I don't know why I keep walking when life becomes unbearably." A contemplative silence followed the tiger's raw account. Siddhartha closed his eyes and took a deep breath as if seeking the right answer within himself. Then he looked at the dejected feline with infinite compassion. "My dear friend, what afflicts you is known as dukkha, the suffering that arises from desiring reality to be different from what it is. Your melancholy is the product of a mind that does not understand its true nature and clings to the ephemeral, seeking an impossible happiness. But you don't have to carry that burden anymore. There is a path to well-being." The tiger listened, somewhat confused but with growing interest. Was there truly a way to alleviate his internal turmoil? "The path is simple but requires discipline and perseverance," Siddhartha continued. "It is an eightfold path that leads to spiritual transformation, freeing you from suffering. If you follow it with rectitude and wisdom, you will find the true happiness that resides within you." For the first time, the tiger's eyes sparkled with a glimmer of hope, eager to continue the conversation with the hermit, who seemed to have the answers he had been seeking with increasing interest. The tiger asked the venerable Siddhartha to tell him more about this noble path of 8 branches that could liberate him from suffering. "Your eyes now radiate a glimpse of hope, noble tiger, and that fills me with joy," said the friendly hermit. "It means you are ready to walk the path that I will reveal to you. Pay attention and engrave my words in your spirit," Siddhartha continued. All the animals also approached curiously to listen to the teachings. "The path has 8 steps," Siddhartha began. "The first is to adopt a correct view of reality, understanding the 4 noble truths about suffering and seeing things as they truly are." The tiger nodded, completely focused on the hermit's words. "The second is to develop right intention, cultivating thoughts of renunciation, goodwill, and non-violence. The third step is to always use right speech that inspires truth and harmony. The fourth is to act ethically and purely, not harming other beings." The animals listened with great attention, as if enchanted by Siddhartha's calm voice. The 5th step is to strive for right livelihood, deriving sustenance from dignified and honest means. The 6th is to always make right effort, working with diligence and positive energy. The 7th lies in having full attention and awareness of the present moment. And the 8th step is right meditation, training the mind to find stillness and deep insight. The tiger felt as if a great weight was lifted from his shoulders as he listened to the wisdom in the monk's words. "This is the path I need to walk," he thought. "If you follow these 8 steps with rectitude, your spirit will purify, and you will find the longed-for inner peace, dispelling all traces of suffering," Siddhartha concluded. "It requires effort and perseverance, but the reward is well worth it. What do you say? Do you want me to guide you in this process of inner healing?" "Venerable Siddhartha, I am willing to embark on the noble 8-fold path that you have revealed," the tiger responded fervently. "Show me where to begin." "Do you want to start practicing spiritual exercises but don't know how?" Siddhartha asked. Excited to have found a possible solution to his sorrow, the tiger was eager to begin walking the noble 8-fold path. To start the process, the first thing will be to find a place of quietude and silence where you can meditate without distractions, Siddhartha said. "I know a clearing by the river perfect for this." The obedient tiger followed Siddhartha towards a tranquil clearing surrounded by tall bamboo with a whispering waterfall in the background. "This is an ideal spot for meditation," said the monk. "The first branch of the path consists of developing a correct view of reality. For this, you must focus your mind on the present moment, calming your thoughts until achieving mental stillness." After giving some basic instructions on posture and breathing, Siddhartha proceeded to guide the tiger in his first meditation session. It was a strange sensation at first, but as he disciplined his mind, the tiger began to perceive flashes of serenity within himself that he had not known before. At the end of the session, the feline felt renewed, with a slight but growing sense of inner peace. "You have taken the first step very well," congratulated Siddhartha. "Now, when you feel your spirits waning, come to this secret place of yours to meditate. You will see how gradually the clouds of your melancholy will start to dissipate." Following the wise monk's advice, the tiger began to meditate there daily, achieving deeper states of mental stillness each time. He also endeavored to practice the other steps of the path, especially cultivating kinder thoughts and virtuous speech. Within a few weeks, the animals noticed a change in their friend. No longer did they see him with his head hung low and dejected, but he walked more uprightly, and there was a new sparkle in his eyes, opportunities to share or help. One noon, when the heat was stifling, the tiger graciously led the smaller animals to a cool waterhole he knew, so they could hydrate themselves. "My friends, in the past, I would have been incapable of even perceiving your needs. So engulfed was I in my own sorrow," he reflected. "Today my heart rejoices in being able to serve you." The animals were so impressed by the overwhelming kindness of the tiger that the monkey chief couldn't help but ask him, But Tiger, how did you manage to transform yourself so much? You've gone from being aloof and melancholic to radiating kindness and joy everywhere. You must share your secret with us." "There's no such secret, dear monkey," replied the tiger. "I've simply followed with discipline the teachings of the Noble Eightfold Path that Venerable Siddhartha kindly imparted to me." He went on to recount his daily silent meditation by the river, his efforts to have purer thoughts and intentions, his careful expression with words of kindness, and his contentment with what the jungle provided without the need to accumulate anything. "I will always be grateful to you for bringing such a wise teacher to me when I saw only darkness." "Siddhartha ignited a flame of awareness in my spirit that grows day by day, healing me from within," concluded the tiger. Moved by the narrative, this time it was the elephant who spoke. "Noble tiger, your experiential process is the best proof that when a wounded soul strives to heal, there is no suffering that cannot be overcome. Continue radiating that serene inner joy, and you will infect us all. For any jungle dweller who undergoes spiritual pains, reminding them that there is a path of light when there is a will to walk it." One bright morning, the tiger happily made his way to the bamboo clearing where he used to meditate by the murmuring river. Upon arrival, he was greatly surprised to see his dear teacher, Siddhartha, waiting for him with a smile, seated in a lotus pose. "Venerable Siddhartha, what joy to see you again," exclaimed the tiger, deeply moved. "To what do I owe this precious encounter? I have come, noble friend, to personally witness the miracle that your forest companions cannot stop praising everywhere," replied Siddhartha amiably. "They have ecstatically recounted to me the transformation taking place within you day after day, filling you with serene inner joy and genuine desires to serve. I wanted to see it for myself before departing." The tiger lowered his gaze, blushing at this undeserved recognition. "I owe it all to you, wise Siddhartha, and to the blessed teachings of the Noble Eightfold Path that you kindly imparted," he replied humbly. "I've simply followed your wise counsel as best I could, although at times I feel I'm nowhere near attaining the purity of spirit that you possess." The monk nodded his head kindly. "Do not underestimate your noble effort, dear tiger. The path to inner redemption that you have chosen requires constancy and patience, but the fruits you already reap are quite visible, not only in your own transformation, but also in the positive effect that your change generates in those around you, inspiring more kindness everywhere. That fills me with joy." The tiger felt his eyes moisten with gratitude. He knew that despite all he had learned, he still had a long spiritual journey ahead of him, but he now had a reliable compass in the noble teachings of his dear teacher Siddhartha engraved into his spirit. So when the venerable monk bid farewell to continue his pilgrimage, the tiger knew he would never truly be alone. For when melancholy or discouragement threatened to return, all he needed was to evoke the wise words of his mentor about that illuminated Noble Eightfold Path, whose steps had become an integral part of his being. It always reminded him that true happiness lies within oneself, patiently waiting to be discovered. And this is the Buddhist fable of how the tiger managed to overcome his sadness, heal his soul from within, and find genuine happiness based on compassion and wisdom. Consider subscribing and liking I'm the Monk Wisdom.